is Celeste's approach to responsible investing?
A lot of people talk about responsible investing like it is a subset to how they think about companies. At Celeste, we don't think like that. We think responsible investing should be ingrained in the way you think. And why is that important? It's so important that we started down the process in 2006. We signed the UNPRI in 2008, and we were one of a small collection of investment groups that did that. Why? Because it's important to understand the value at risk. And ESG embodies the value that you have at risk in a company. Why? Because if you are bad in an environmental sense, you will lose your right to operate. You will have higher provisions and higher costs associated with your business in terms of remediation. If you have higher staff turnover, you will have to hire staff that costs you. You will have education and processes that you need to teach them which will cost you money. So therefore, businesses that have lower staff turnover, that are more aligned, tend to run better margins and convert cash better than those that have higher turnovers. If you have poor governance, ultimately businesses fail with poor governance. If you have money leakage, if you have bad contract terms and conditions that are signed off by management, they will destroy shareholder value. So we think those key aspects must be ingrained into the way you think when you sit down and discuss your investment process. They must be factored into your valuation. So we think ESG is vital. We think if you don't do it, you're going to get left behind.
Could you give us a little bit more detail on some of the key aspects that you consider before making an investment?
There are lots of issues at play with E, S and G, and there are lots of points that you can assess in each of those three components. What we want to do at Celeste is to assess the materiality, because that is what will have an impact on the company, and ultimately that is what will have an impact on the valuation. So it's about assessing widely, but distilling deeply and coming up with the key issues that matter.
How at Celeste do you integrate ES&G considerations into valuations?
We think it's vital that any assessment of ES&G must come down to an assessment of value at risk. And that is, if the practices of the business were to continue, what is the risk to the valuation and how would we reduce or increase the valuation to account for good and bad behaviour? We also take it upon ourselves to have a discussion with the company to see what they're doing, because we see change in the nature of behaviour as a very important indicator of ratings of cash flow streams as well. So it's a two-spoke approach. It's the adjustment to the valuation, but it's detailed discussion to understand the nature of the change that's happening inside the business.